Hello children, hope you all are well at home. I, Mrs. Anjali Singh, will take up your history classes. And the first chapter which I am going to start with you all is the medieval Europe, rise and spread of Christianity. I will take some of the pages as part 1. So before I start the chapter, it is very important to understand the term medieval. It is the time period between the ancient and the modern period. The word medieval is derived from two words of the Latin language. First is medius and second aevum, which means middle age. In India, medieval period has been divided into early and late medieval periods. Early medieval period started from 700 AD to 1200 AD and late medieval period from 1200 AD to 1750 AD, means from 8th to 18th century. However, in Europe, the medieval period stretched from 600 AD to 1500 AD, means 5th to 15th century. And why is that so? Just because of the simple reason that European countries started developing rapidly or faster before India could. In this period, political life was dominated by the presence of large number of states, as well as Hinduism was the religion followed by majority in India. And then in this medieval period, Islam got its root along with Christianity. Islam came just because of Muslim and Turkish rulers to India. And Christianity came because of missionaries to India. In Europe, it stretched from the collapse of Roman civilization till Renaissance. And the beginning of the Middle Ages in Western Europe is called the Dark Age. So why it is called the period of Dark Age? Because life during this period was difficult and short. Why it was short? Because people were dying for many reasons. And the reasons are, first, it was an era of war as barbarian armies overran land. There were barbarian tribes. They controlled, looted the Romans. Rome was looted by the barbarians only. Secondly, it was going through the terrible period of famine. What is famine? Great hunger or starvation. We are talking about the western side of Europe, right? Thirdly, feudalism was dominant in the Middle Ages. It was a social system in Europe. Now, what is feudalism? So, let us understand it. The barbarians weakened the power of the kings in Europe, which led to the growth of a new system where people worked for nobles, means high officials or rich landlords, and in return the people rendered military services to these nobles or landlords. The peasants, who are peasants? Farmers, worked on the feudals or landlords' field, by which peasants used to get the land from the landlords or by the nobles or by the feudals, and they used to cultivate crop. Fourthly, then there were deaths happening due to plague, which went on spreading rapidly in medieval age, known as Black Death. This was also the reason that people were dying, right? As people are facing with COVID-19, just the same thing. It was happening, but only in the western side of Europe, right? Then Fifthly, the Christian church also had a great influence over the European society, hence it was called Age of Faith. And lastly, the spirit of inquiry, advancement of knowledge and culture was not at all encouraged. Okay, now let us study about the division of the society, which is very important. The whole of the European society was divided into three parts. First, clergy. These were the priests or religious class, right? Then comes nobles. They were the warriors or landlords, or we can say in the simple language, feudals, which I have explained you. Okay, thirdly, farmers or peasants, you can say. They were sometimes free, or they were slaves or in bondage under the clergies or the nobles. Now, around 1095 AD, something else was taking place. What was that? Crusades. Crusades were also fought between Muslims or Turkish and Christians in Europe with the aim of capturing Jerusalem. That was the Holy Land. These crusades went on for 200 years as the groups of people supporting Muslims and Christians came from other countries to Europe to be the part of these wars. Understood? Who were coming? People from far and wide, from different nations. They were coming to Europe to be the part of the crusades, right? So Muslim majority, they were supporting Muslims, and Christian majority, they were supporting Christians there in Europe to take the Holy Land under their control, right? Understood? Okay. Now this factor resulted in the birth of a new movement called the Renaissance. It was the age of new adventures and learning. Now this age was known as Renaissance. Why? Because people started coming towards Europe, and European people were having, good interaction and exchange of knowledge and culture. Now the people started moving from different parts of the world towards Europe, which gave birth to many sea expeditions. Understood? People explored new lands and new routes. They soon came to know about the trade of Eastern countries. Eastern countries were very well skilled of doing trade. And before Britishers came, East European country already was there on the door knocking India to come and do the trade. Right? So the Europeans acquired wealth by the trading activities, and they did advancement in the field of economic, that is wealth, and culture during this period. Okay, children. Now this was the scenario of Europe in the medieval period, right? So let us have some glimpses that what was happening in India in medieval times, right? So this period started around 700 AD after the death of King Harsh. At that time, India was free from the foreign invasions. Invasions, you know very well. No, invasions means different people who were not from India. They started coming and crossing the borders and started entering India to plunder, maybe the reason, or to reside here permanently. But it was all done without any information given before they were coming to the country. Okay. The kingdoms of the northern parts were quite secured because there was no such invasions, right? But there were constant battles among the kingdoms. In the southern India, two main dynasties flourished. They were Rashtrakutas and Cholas. There were other dynasties too, but these two were the prominent, right? Then afterwards, two major events shook the Indians' rulers. Firstly, the Muslim or Turkish conquest and the arrivals of British in India, and these series of invasions happened between 11th century to 18th century AD. Understood? So this was the time, mainly it's written here, that in 11th, from 11th to 18th century was the time of invasion. People started coming in India, like Mahmud of Ghazni raided India several times. From 1001 AD to 1025 AD, he was so much interested in India to come. Then it was Muhammad Ghori who established the first Turkish dynasty in India after winning the second battle of Tarayan in 1192 AD. Okay, in the late medieval period, India was ruled by Islamic dynasties. We will come to know in the afterwards you will study about many of the dynasties, the Sultanate period, right? So they were the Islamic dynasties. For example, the Mamluks, they were the slaves, right? So they were having their dynasty here. Khaljis, then Tughlaqs, Lodhis and the Mughals, right? And at that moment, when our country was being invaded, the country was very rich. India was very rich. And at that time, gold coins were used for trade in medieval period. This period also saw the rise of Sikh and Maratha rulers, as well as if you talk about the art and architecture, it flourished in this time. Beautiful monuments like Taj Mahal, Sun Temple at Konark, they were beyond the beauties and they were telling the story about that era. As Europeans were reaching every part of the world for their trading activities, which I already told you, so Europeans came to India when? In 15th century to establish their colonies and trading companies. Now, the political situation in India started changing in the 18th century. Why? Because it was a mingling of culture, right? Mughal Empire in India started disintegrated. It started disintegrating, right? Why? Because they were also having different rulers with different mythologies, and country was divided into many big and small states, and by this the medieval period came to its end, right? It was the end of the last, that is last ruling dynasty, that was Mughals. Right, now comes the sources of Indian medieval. Now we are still studying about a little bit of India, right? But basically this chapter is about Europe, which I'll be taking just after the sources, right? Now the sources of the Indian medieval history is the next heading. The sources means from where do we get to know about the medieval history or the information of medieval history of India. It is through written accounts or literary sources. Inscription on the coins, as I showed you the coin on the screen, it was inscripted, something was there, So inscription was found there on the coins, and architecture of the monument which gave the information of that period, right? So let us take up the first one, the first source, which is books and other written accounts. There were many Sanskrit books written between 700 AD and 1200 AD in India, right? First of all, Shishupal Vad is a rich source of customs and lifestyle of common people of the medieval time. It tells about the custom and the lifestyle, how people were living at that time when different types of rulers were ruling. Then comes Katha Sarit Sagar is another one, right? It is another source of this time, which is also a collection of stories of adventure written by Somdev. He was a writer, right? Then Raj Tarangini, which was written in 12th century. Then Vikramadev Charita, which was written in 11th century by Bilhana. And Prithviraj Raso, which was composed by Chand Bardai in 12th century AD. These are some of the biographies of the people. And after reading the biographies of these rulers, we come to know that which type of style they opted to rule in that time. Then there came some travelers like a Persian traveler, Al-Biruni, who wrote Tehkeek-e-Hind. When he came to India, he wrote many things. He, piled up the information in the form of a book, Tehkeek-e-Hind. Then a Moroccan traveler, Ibn Battuta, wrote about Muhammad bin Tughlaq, right? He was a ruler at that time. So he wrote about him also in 14th century. Then Marco Polo also came to our country. He was crossing, right? And he wrote about the custom of South India. He was crossing the southern part of India. So as he came across this part, he came with the contact. He came in the contact of people who told about the living environment, the eating habit, the routine of life of the king and the people and occupation. So many things were written by him, right? Then Baburnama, right, and Akbarnama, which was written by Abul Fazl, were the two biographies of the Mughal emperor or the Mughal era, right? Then another source, children, are you understanding? Okay. Now then the second source comes is inscription and coins. You can see on the screen that there are two coins and number of things are inscribed on it. There are some inscribed copper plates which were found in the Indian, temples, which gives the information about the genealogies. Genealogies means the descendant of a particular person, means king, then his son, and then his son, and then his sons, and this way, right? Now, genealogies were written on it, right? And there were some good people who used to give land for making the temple. About them also, it was inscripted where? On the copper plates. So inscription was very important, right? For example, Aihole and Pattadakal, which is in Karnataka and southern part, have such inscription, right? And the inscription, tells about the Chalukyan period. This was also the time when Chalukyan kings, they, dominated South India. They ruled for some time. Then comes coins, okay. Coins means that was also a source of information, right, about the rulers, about the trade and economy of the medieval period. It means after seeing the coin, reading the inscripted matter, people came to know that coins were in high circulation. Which coins? Silver coins as well as gold coins. It means that moment gives a picture to us that we were very rich at that moment, right? So these gold coins were known as mohars, which tells that salaries were paid in cash. People were getting mohars for doing work rather than in kind. Then comes monuments. Numerous temples, mosques, monuments, remains of the buildings provide us, a rich and valuable information about the rulers and their ruling period. And of course, about the lives of the common people of the medieval period. Understood? So these are the sources which I have, discussed with you all. And then afterwards, I discussed with you, the difference of medieval, period of Europe as well as the medieval period of India, right? Now, what you have to do, children, you need to listen to this, description and this explanation number of times. And sir has already sent you the pics of the lesson. So I have covered only some pages, right? So just listen to the explanation many times. Okay, and then I have sent the question answers to you all. You have on the the question answers are there on the website. Now it is your duty to maintain a proper history copy, and you have to maintain an index too, right? Now as I have started the explanation, you people also can start doing the question answers in your copies, right? And the work should be very neat and clean. I am very particular about the good handwriting and neat and clean work. And you are not supposed to use whiteners, right? And I know you children can, manage to do neat and good work on your own. The thing is this, that when you write, concentrate. Okay, concentrate at that moment, and whatever you write, it should be clearly, neatly, and in a very systematic way it should be written. Okay, children. So here I come to the end of this part, and very soon you will get to know about the other parts. Okay, children. God bless you all, and thank you so much.